Hi, this is Cherokee. So, I'm back and I have a new goal for myself, and it is to read every day. So, a little backstory about me. I don't remember a time when I did not know how to read because my mother taught us to read when before we went to school. And when I was younger, I had my own book membership or something. I used to get books in the mail from Dr. Seuss, the Dr. Seuss Club, and it's something I've always loved and it's always been a part of my life. So I move every few years, and whenever I move, there's two things that I always do. Number one, I clean the bathroom and make it this perfect oasis. And number two, I find the local library. So that's how important books have always been to me. When I got to be an adult, especially after having my daughter, certain, I guess you can call them luxuries a little bit, um, have been eluding me a bit, and reading is one of them. I haven't really read, like get absorbed in the book in years, and I miss it. It's like my soul is calling me to reading, and I accumulated a lot of books that I haven't read, and I've wondered, or I've partially read, and I've wondered, why is that? What the heck is holding me back from reading, from something that I love to do, or have always loved to do? And the only thing I could think of is it's weird. It's kind of like a fear almost, because I think I've practiced denying myself certain things like luxuries and peace and quiet and time for myself for so long, that now that the parenting part of my life is almost done, like my kid is in college now, so it's time to take my life back. And as I'm challenging myself to be basically to rediscover who I am again, who I was, and how that meshes with who I am today. And I really want to read again, but I haven't been taking the time for myself. And I think that I've subconsciously related the two together, and so decided to start a new segment of my channel that is going to encourage me to read. I did a segment already on exercising, I think last year or a couple years ago, including the splits, which I'd always wanted to achieve. So I achieved that on all three sides. And then I did a segment on the law of attraction once I discovered that and was really doing a deep dive into that. And that became a part of my daily life. And I chose to share that as well. And it was super helpful. And it's something I still practice. And so now I've been really wanting to read and just take the time for myself. So I've decided to commit to 1 hour a day. I decided this a while ago and I haven't done it. So it's like, you know what? Why don't I record myself? And because that always gets me motivated to do the thing that I've been putting off. And so here we go. So I am going to start this next segment of my channel. I'm going to call it the Reading Nook. The Reading Nook is me reading the books that I've been putting off for a long time. So it's encouraging me to do that, to get into the zone like I used to, really focus on this one thing. It's meditative, which is interesting. And so I want that back. And what's interesting also about reading is it's a bit easier than now. I do meditate every morning. Some days are easier than others, but it's a part of my day. It's the first thing I do in the morning. And but reading is, I think, an easier way of quieting the mind and getting into that zone. And so that's what I'm going to do. It's a way to be fully present in the moment, right? And so that's what I'm going to do, because that's actually part of a long-term goal that I'm working on. So I think this will work out really well. So in the spirit of sharing, read with me. Now, most of the books that I have are spiritual books, or some of them could be like in the self-help category. And then, you know, I just finally got my bookshelves delivered, and I looked at all of the books I have and unpacked them all and put them on the shelves, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this book. Hey, I never read that book. So yeah, so some of it's fiction, some of it's biographies or autobiographies, and yeah, I'm just gonna be reading. So I decided on 1 hour a day rather than like a chapter a day, because chapters vary depending on what you're reading. And the first book I'm going to read is called Ask and It Is Given. Learning to Manifest Your Desires. Now, interestingly, this whole book is pretty much the basis to the law of attraction, directly from source. So yes, I study the law of attraction. I practice it as a part of my daily way of life. It was not easy at first, but it's something I decided to dedicate my life to, and now it's just how I live. I would not change that for anything in the world. And for me personally, the best place to get anything pertaining to me or anything in my life is directly from source. And I find that through various means, meditation and different things that I practice. And I love that feeling. And the author is, how do they have it worded here? Esther and Jerry Hicks, and it's the teachings of Abraham. Abraham is source energy, and it's a name that Esther ascribed to source energy. We call source energy in spiritual circles whatever you feel like calling God, most commonly referred to as that, but we do believe that everything is energy. And we as human beings and our environment on this earth and this universe are all products of that, of source energy. And so this book, I started reading it and I only got to a few chapters in. Looks like chapter 3. Looks like I was highlighting it as I went along. And that's as far as I got. I don't know how old this book was. I have this book. I have the book after that, and the book after that. So I'm going to get started with those things today. And I have a timer, and I have my intention, and this morning I included it as a part of my daily schedule, and I'm just going to do it. So I'm going to record a separate video because this one's almost 10 minutes long, and it's going to be called Read With Me. All right, take care.